Hey there, welcome to the God and Gig Show. And if you've ever gotten a little bit tired or actually jaded with the whole new year, new you, new me, if that all gets a little old to you, I want to help you to see the value of beginnings and even start to value and see the reward in this kind of repetition. Let's get into this fascinating discussion, and I think you'll understand my point once you get to the end of this video. Hey there, Alan Paul here, and welcome to our first episode of 2022 of the God and Gigs Show. It is amazing. We've made it. No matter when you're watching this, that means that it's after 2022. If you're listening after 2022, you have something to be thankful for. Making it to a new year, making it through all of the craziness, whether it be all the news about pandemics and uh, all the stuff that we've dealt with from 2020, and like it feels like 2021 was like one long hangover of 2020 trying to get through it, and now we're at 2022 as I'm recording. Thank you for even giving God and Gigs a chance of being a part of this brand new year. So let me get right to what we're going to be talking about. But if you're watching for the first time, you are among friends. If you are a creative musician, artist, faith focused freelancer, someone that believes in God and has a Christian background but doesn't work in the four walls of the church exclusively, and you want to improve your creative life from the inside out, you're in the right place. You're among friends. I hope you'll subscribe, review the show, let me know what you like, what you'd like to hear more of, and let's get started helping you become the creative that you are created to be. But what I want to talk about, because it's the beginning of a new year, it really brought me back to what is so exciting about beginnings. Why do we get this charge of optimism every year around this time? It doesn't matter how jaded you are with New Year's resolutions, how many times you tried to lose 10 pounds, how many times you set up those goals and then gave up midway through the year, or even can't even remember what they are. It doesn't matter. The new year still sparks optimism. And I said this in an email that I sent to all of my to my subscribers. And so if you're one of them, hopefully you saw this, and I want to repeat it. I believe God really enjoys and believes and thinks beginnings are super important. Why do I say that? Well, because he started a book. Now, God is a creator. We know he's the ultimate creative. And God also is an author because God wrote a book, right? And he decided the very first words in his book would be in the beginning. To me, the fact that that's the first three words of the most important book and the one thing we have that God spoke directly to us, directly to all of us, no matter when you're living. We weren't there when Jesus was alive, we weren't there when Moses was alive, but we have this book that is directly from the mouth of God, and it says, in the beginning is the first three words. And so God must be really concerned and really, really think beginnings are important. And I think he put that in us. So the way we begin a thing really says a lot about who we are and what we believe about the thing that we are beginning. So let me give you some ideas and some kind of just reflections. This is kind of one of our creative checkup episodes where I just jump in and I share a reflection or an encouragement. You'll see these throughout the time that we are podcasting if you're not a member, if you haven't been a subscriber for a while. So this is what we do. And then we have interviews with amazing creators on usually the opposite week or every other alternating week. So you'll see that. But today, let's talk about this. Is it true that we get a little tired and a little weary of the same thing over and over again? So maybe you're one of those people who don't believe New Year's resolutions really does anything. Maybe you're one of the people that even says, okay, you know what? Doesn't matter what day it is. It's just another day. Let's just get started. The calendar changed, but you're a little jaded about that. And I admit, I'm one of those people in a way. I really don't like thinking about waiting for January 1st to start things, to get my creative career started, to set up goals. I really feel like these are kind of things I should be doing all year long. As a matter of fact, I talked about that a little bit in a previous episode entitled Goals, Goals, Goals. So I talked about that, why you shouldn't necessarily wait for January 1st. But now I'm going to reverse that a little bit and come from the opposite side. Maybe there is some power in the beginning of the year. And it's because, like I said, God is interested in beginnings. There's a quote I love by G.K. Chesterton that says that maybe God is just in love with monotony. I'm paraphrasing the quote here. It's a beautiful long quote that I actually put in some of my God and Gigs Instagrams and stuff like that. I've always loved to share this quote. And again, it's a little too long to read, but I have to paraphrase, which is maybe God loves monotony and repetition. Maybe God loves every day waking up and saying to the sun, do it again. And waking up and saying to the moon, do it again. And maybe every daisy and every flower he makes, every time he starts anew, he starts the process. Maybe God hasn't just put everything in motion and just leaves it alone. Maybe there are just his hand and his fingertips in the beginning of everything. And yes, of course, he's created things to reproduce and make themselves. And maybe, I don't know. This is kind of like more like a theological kind of, creative mindset that I want you to think of, not necessarily like the exact thing of whether God makes every flower or whether that is something that is from the direct hand of creation. That's not what I'm talking about. I love the quote because the quote basically says that God loves the idea of starting over. God loves reproducing and recreating and creating again. And that maybe we're the ones as creatives that have forgotten how beautiful it is to start things, to start again, to start anew, to actually have a love of repetition. Here's another thing that I think creatives that we start the year off and we kind of get a little bogged down. We kind of start thinking like, okay, here we go again. If something happens that knocks us off our game, we don't enjoy that kind of reminder that things may be just the same as last year. Maybe things won't change. Maybe you'll do the exact same practice regimen. Maybe you're on the exact same position. Maybe you're in the exact same job and you expected things to change and you don't like it. Maybe you're looking forward to change. I believe change could be on the way. But here's the thing. You got to also realize there is a reward in repetition. What do I mean by that? I mean that when you repeat yourself and you do things that are right, you do things that are excellent, you do things that are courageous, you do things that are loving, and you do those over and over again. And then in terms of your creative life, you continue to focus on doing the right things over and over again. You build up those habits, you build up those skills, you build up that skill set that you have been working on, and you get more and more adept at doing the thing that you do. Maybe it's even marketing or connecting with people or networking. Maybe it's that skill or work or that project. You just keep doing the same thing over and over, and you be like, wait, I thought you wanted me to do new things. Well, the funny thing is that you can't do the new thing until you repeat something. You got to get really good at repeating and valuing that repetition. And so it's this weird kind of connection. You see what I'm doing here with the beginnings and then beginning again and then the repetition and then the reward being what you get at the end, which is this unbelievable confidence and assurance that you are on the right path, that you're doing the right thing because you had a good beginning, because you decided to set your foundation in the right place, which is I want to do something that impacts the world, that blesses others, and I want to do it in an excellent way. So if it's music, art, photography, poetry, writing, journalism, filmmaking, visual art, sculpture, whatever that creative thing is, you are saying to yourself, I'm willing to commit and value the beginning, even if I have to start from scratch, and then embrace and look for the reward that comes from the repetition. Even though that can get a little tiring, even though you might be waiting for something to snap and break and change, there's something about just saying, you know what? God is not scared of beginnings. He enjoys beginnings. He loves beginning again. And he has no problem with repetition. He has no problem with saying, I'm going to take care of you again. I gave you bread yesterday. I'm going to give you bread today. I took care of you yesterday. I'm going to take care of you again today. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever, right? He never changes. So this is like a kind of a devotional slash encouragement to you. Don't let the idea of either monotony or the idea of starting over from the beginning of the year make you forget that this is the absolute best way for you to set the foundation for the rest of your year. Decide that you are going to be okay with beginning, okay with starting over, okay with wiping the slate clean and starting all over again. And then don't be afraid of the value of repetition, of starting things over and then doing it again and doing it again and doing it again, just like that kid that never tires of asking his father or mother to pick him up. Because you know the value is every time you do that thing again, you're growing stronger and more creative and more confident in that thing that God is leading you to do. Now, if that blessed you, if this little talk helped you, I want to ask you if you have already gotten my devotional, Your Art, God's Heart. Now, as I'm recording this, it's around January 4th or 3rd. Maybe you're listening to this on the 5th or the 6th. So the key is, if you want to get our devotional, which is a 21-day devotional in time to finish it in January, you might want to go ahead and pick it up now. You can go to godandgigs.com, click on that resources button and look for our books, okay? All you got to do is go to godandgigs.com and look for our books. You'll see the Your Art, God's Heart, all the different versions that are there that you can go ahead and check that out. And this is a way for you to reconnect your spiritual life and your creative life. 21 lessons, only takes about 2 to 3 minutes. I highly recommend that. It's been out since 2018 and it's still blessing creatives. I've seen so many Instagrams pop up and people that are sharing it. And if you do read it, if you do pick it up, go ahead and share it on social media. Let me know that you read it. Let me know that you're going through the days. We haven't decided on an exact challenge, but we might do a challenge where we all read it together. It's not as much important to me that you follow it along with everybody else. I just really want you to read it so that you can reconnect your spiritual life and your creative life with those 21 powerful, simple, but very effective lessons on how God is working in your creative life, okay? Your Art, God's Heart, definitely check that out before the 10th if you want to finish 21 days of reading before January 31st, okay? Number 2, please, if you have not already, please check out God and Gigs 360. That is our membership where we help highly motivated creatives to get out of their own way and to thrive as completely confident Christian creatives and entrepreneurs. And we are getting ready to do some amazing things in there. There's courses that are coming out, courses that are already done. There's new member calls and co-working things that we're doing where we're working together to strategize for the new year. I highly recommend you jump into this. It's one of my most favorite things in this, my entire time of doing this. God and Gigs 360 just blesses me and blesses others. We got amazing testimonials I'll tell you more about, but definitely check that out. There's definitely always going to be a free trial for you. And we also have some promotions throughout the month of January. So check that out as well, God and Gigs 360. And you can see that link in the description of this episode. All right, that's all for today, all the announcements. And I encourage you once again, embrace repetition, embrace beginning again, embrace the new beginning that God might be giving you in your creative career. Don't shy away from it. Don't think that it's just another year. It's not just another year. God's going to bless you and do amazing things through your creative career, no matter where you do it. But just make sure you put Him first. Make sure that you are always looking to connect your art to God's heart. And then you can truly enjoy all that God's going to do through your career in the year 2022. Thank you for listening to our first episode of the year. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you are following us throughout the year. And yeah, leave us a review on Spotify. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Wherever you see a review button or a rating button, please go ahead and let us know that you are enjoying this and that it's blessing you so that you can help improve the world and become the creative that you were created to be. Until next time, everybody, God bless.